Right, friends? Chalo. Okay, guys. So we have been going with the amendments lecture series, and I've been uploading the lectures once I'm done with my power notes, amendments power notes, which I've written. But certain students they've started asking me, sir, we need the case study digest as early as possible. And I told them that, guys, it's gonna take time because I need to write the case studies. I need to write power notes for the same. And as you guys know, the power notes is gonna take a lot of time, at least 4 to 5 hours for me for each case study, apart from amendments which I'm already working upon. But still, students said that, sir, why don't you do it parallelly, simultaneously? So what I've done is that I've decided, okay, fine. So because many of the students they actually fear the case study, so I thought that, okay, fine, let's do it as soon as possible. So I'm working late nights for the same, and I hope especially this lecture series will help you guys. And I'm also, trying to finish it off as early as possible. So having that in mind, now we're gonna start with our first case study in the case study digest that has been recently released by ICA. Also, understand one thing, guys. When it comes to case studies, you guys know the purpose of our power notes. So we're gonna simplify it, and we're gonna write it in such a way that it's easy for us to remember and it's easy for us to revise the day before the exam. That's the whole intention, and that's the reason a lot of time and effort goes into preparing these power notes. And for your kind information, I have repeated this so many times, power notes is not short notes as assumed by many of the students. So actually the power notes, why it is called as power notes, because the 4-page or 5-page content, the answer, whatever that is, we try to reduce it down to 2-page or 1-page, say for example 2 pages or 1 page, whatever it is, and that becomes short notes. But we're gonna reduce it in such a way that it can be reconverted back to what 3 or 4 pages, because only then you're gonna get full marks in the exam, because we need to write the full content. So that's the whole intention of power notes. So it's a unique way of writing something where we want to get the best of both the worlds. So that's the whole intention of power notes. So it's not short notes actually, because short notes has got this negative point where if you prepare the summary or short notes of any of the case studies or any of the answers for these case studies, and if you write them in the examination, you are not going to get full marks. You got to write the full answer, only then you're gonna get the 20 marks or 10 marks, whatever that is, for that respective case study. With summary, it's not going to be possible. That's where I felt that power notes is something that can really work upon. That was the intention 2 years back when I started this power notes, and after that, as you all guys know, it went viral, and now many of my students have got all India ranks also. They are very happy. I personally feel that, yeah, when a student of you gets all India rank, it makes me happy. But if you ask me the credit, it goes to the student absolutely, because I teach the same for all the students, and only few of them they get the ranks, which means I basically teach the same, but it's the student's uniqueness, hard work, and credit that he deserves such a kind of mark. So what makes me, it makes me happy, okay, my student have achieved something which is special, so it gives me a lot of happiness and puts a smile on my face. That's all. But the credit absolutely goes to a student. Whenever a student secures a rank on or absolutely good marks, it's his hard work, it's his extra bit of effort. So I'm happy guys are getting really good marks. So I hope this case studies also will help you guys to get really good marks in your upcoming attempt. Okay, chalo. Having said that, let's get into the case study now. This case study document also, I'll try to upload it in the same lecture link, guys, which you have got, and I'll create a separate folder. Already you have a separate folder called SCMPE amendment lectures. In that you already have a document of questions, as well as we are uploading the lectures. Similarly, I'll make a separate folder for case study digest, and in that I'll upload all these documents as well as the lectures. Okay, I hope that works. Right, so let's start with the first case study, Nana. Right, guys, let's have a look into that. BA is the second largest airline in the country X. Aviation industry in the country X is growing fast. Okay. In 2011, 45 million people traveled to or from or within the country X. By 2020, that doubled to 100 million. This number is expected to triple to 300 million by 2030. Also by 2025, country X is expected to be the third largest air transport market in the world, behind US and China. Government is trying to meet the significant growth potential of aviation industry. However, it will create challenges also for the airline industry and its industry partners. The government also wants to ensure that broader business and policy environment should not place hurdles which will inhibit the growth and reduce the level of benefits that aviation can deliver to the nation. The industry, its supply chain partners, and the government and policymakers have a clear mandate to work in collaboration towards the common goal of ensuring that aviation's economic and social benefits are fulfilled. Despite of operating in world's fastest growing market, BA struggles for passengers. Also, BA is facing following problems. So what are the problems that BA is facing? Let's try to understand. First one, aviation turbine fuel prices constitute about 40% of operational costs in the country X and are taxed higher than anywhere else in the world. The central government charges 14% duty on aviation turbine fuel, while the state government pile on their own local tax that can go as high as 29%. The currency depreciation is also hitting the airline harder. About 25% to 30% of their cost, excluding air turbine fuel cost, or dollar denominated, and from aircraft lease rents. Then you've got maintenance cost to ground handling and parking charges abroad, etc. That's hurting them because of currency depreciation, because all these are dollar denominated. Next, with the entry of low budget carriers, full service carrier like BA that have high overhead cost have been forced to offer discount to passengers looking for a great bargain. Continuous improvement in tourism infrastructure, tourism policies, human resources development, airport infrastructure density are among the areas that could further enhance country X competitiveness. Ease of doing business over the last 5 years have risen. Now that's a positive thing. The intense competition among domestic airlines carriers, the need to capture a slice of the ever expanding market, and passenger price sensitivity makes the airlines difficult to raise ticket prices. Together, these factors have now plunged country X aviation industry to its most precarious phase in the last 3 years or so. BA is facing huge competition as a year of sharp U-turns for X aviation industry, from record profit in financial year 2019-20 to mega losses. That's really bad, resulting in direct need of recapitalization. BA has been appealing to the government for a decade for reduction in taxes on fuel, but all in vain. So everything went in vain. ATF is 35 to 40% more expensive in country X than in the rest of the world because of relatively high tax rates. So you are required to advise the strategy that BA should follow in order to gain superior performance and competitive advantage over its competitors. That is the question. So as usual, many a times I told you guys, I've explained you the reason also. Read the question 3 times. Okay, 2 times is a must, but 3 times is recommended. Got the point? So I'll give you 5 minutes of time. I want you guys to read the question 3 times. I'll open up the stopwatch so that I don't miss the time. Yeah. Finish it off, read the question 3 times. First, you read the question for the first time. When you're reading it, it's like a story. You don't know what is the requirement, and then see the requirement and keeping the requirement running in your background, in the background of your mind. Then read the question again second time, so that you'll understand what are all the points that you have to concentrate and what are all the points that you not have to concentrate. And a third time would be better, because certain sentences which you read with lesser concentration levels, that also could be covered. So there's a possibility of that as well. 2 is a must, 2 times reading is a must, 3 is recommended. Okay, so you have got 5 minutes. Now read the question. The question is not that big, so I hope you guys can read. Once you're done with your reading, we're going to start with the answer. Okay, read the question, guys. Right, guys. So I hope you guys are done with your reading. Chalo, let's go with the answer. So look at the required stuff first. Advise the strategy that BA should adopt, should follow in order to gain superior performance as well as competitive advantage over its competitors. The moment you see this word, you should understand that we need to apply a concept of competitive advantage from the chapter called Intro to SCM. Of course, Michael Porter's. And how can you achieve competitive advantage? Some sort of advantage over your competition. And you guys know that there are only two choices. One is cost leadership, cost advantage. Other one is differentiation advantage. So product differentiation. Apart from that, you don't have any other choice. And to figure out whether you have the strength of cost advantage of product or product differentiation, you need to apply value chain analysis. But here, considering that this is a service sector, you need to apply value shop analysis. That also we'll see. Okay, so it's quite clear. See, first of all, when you read a case study, the first thing that you guys need to understand is what is the concept that you have to apply. So once you are clear with what concept you need to apply, then the rest of the question, relatively, it will become what easier. Now, before we get to, we get to start solving this particular case study, you guys need to understand what are all the concepts that we have to apply, and you got to recollect them as well. So you should remember the value chain analysis. With the help of that, how we gonna find out whether somebody is going to have a cost leadership advantage or product differentiation. You should also know what do you mean by cost leadership, what do you mean by product differentiation, what is the meaning of that concept, and also you should know what do you mean by value shop analysis and why it is needed and all that stuff. So once you are ready with this, if these concepts are already there in your mind, only then it sounds logical to start doing this particular case study. Otherwise, it's better you go back, revise the concepts thoroughly, and then come back and then start doing this case study, because otherwise it's a mere waste of time. So have this in mind. Chalo. So let's go with our power notes. So case study 1, intro to SCM, and Michael Porter's theory is what we're gonna apply. Anyways, right. Okay, as I told you, first of all, the ultimate requirement of the question is to have a competitive advantage. Now, to get into that, first we need to understand what is competitive advantage. Okay. You can gain competitive advantage. You can gain advantage over your competition in the form of cost leadership or product differentiation. That we know. First, let's try to understand what do you mean by competitive advantage? What it actually means. So, competitive advantage actually means difference between the value it offers to its customers and the cost of creating that value. Are you able to understand? For example, the cost of creating a particular value is 1 lakh. Whereas the actual value that we give to our customers is 1,50,000. Then we have the advantage over our competition with respect to what? 50,000. Because maybe our competition, he is actually incurring 1,50,000 to create the same value. Are you able to understand? To put it in a very simpler way, this is the actual meaning. Okay. Now, also to survive in a competitive environment, supply what the customer wants to buy and accordingly survive your competition. Are you able to understand? So it's a pretty simple thing. So the first thing that you guys need to understand is what do you mean by competitive advantage, and try to remember it's the difference between the value that particular product or a service offers to its customers and the cost of creating that value. How much is the cost that I am incurring to create that value, and how much is the value that customer perceives from his point of view, either for a product or for a service. It doesn't matter. You got the point? Now, ultimately, to survive in a competitive environment, we need to really find out what the customer actually wants, how much he is willing to pay. And accordingly, we need to provide the same, whether it's a service or a product, and then you need to survive your competition. That's what we try to understand initially. Okay, now, if you look at the requirement of the question, he has asked you to attain superior performance and obtain competitive advantage over your competition. And for that, any firm you take in an industry, it will have only two choices. That too, you can figure out that through value shop analysis. Value chain analysis also you can apply, provided if it's a manufacturing sector, because that helps you really find out what's your strength. Is your strength is cost leadership, or is your strength is a product differentiation? Everybody will have their inherent strength. Are you able to understand? Now, so let's try to understand what is this. What do you mean by cost leadership? What do you mean by product differentiation? Now, cost leadership means your company's or firm's total cost should undercut that of its competitors. Now here I have a keyword over here, average competitors, which means you take the total cost of different competitors and get the average of it. Below that, your cost should be there. So which means my total cost must be below the average cost of the competition. Then you have the advantage of cost leadership. You understand the point? And you can price your product less than that, and as a result customer would like to buy your product because you are providing them a very good product at a less cost, right? So it can be a product or a service also. See, if we talk about service, of course, now we have Indigo, we have TrueJet. All these guys are providing services at pretty affordable rates, right? When it comes to airline tickets, so they're providing services. Or when it comes to your products, like for example, you can take mobile phones. We can talk about Xiaomi. We can also talk about somebody who is creating a good value, right? Undercutting the competition. In that case, yeah, OnePlus. Once upon a time it was OnePlus, but now chalta hai, we can say to some extent, okay? But Xiaomi, yeah, really they are really working hard and they're giving you value for money products, right? So they are undercutting the competition and they are providing you better features, and that's the reason we are buying it, to be very honest, right? Vivo and Oppo, I don't say they're creating really value. They're more away, they're running through advertising and offline market. Pretty much they are offline market kind of companies. So, but Xiaomi, OnePlus, yeah, they really undercut the competition. OnePlus now, I really can't say. Okay, but once upon a time, yes, they were pretty much undercutting the competition. And that's how they have become cost leaders right now. They've got a very good market share. They've got a major chunk of the market share. Got the point? Right. Coming on to product differentiation. If a customer feels that a product is superior, he's willing to pay premium price. Exactly. Of course, you know the answer. Apple. Are you able to understand? Of course, it's Apple. But there's no doubt in that. Right? And Jet Airlines to some extent. Yeah. Kind of, you know, Vistara to some extent. You know, yeah. They kind of provide you premium services. Anyways, Apple is the best example for the same. So customer feels that his product is superior. They feel that the Apple product is superior. Superior. And therefore, obviously, what they will do? Yeah, they are ready to pay what? Premium price. And that's how it works. Got the point? So either you make your product or service feel superior than the rest of the products or services. Customer is willing to pay that extra and you can price your product really high. You can make your product feel different and thereby people would like to buy the same. Are you able to understand? For example, when it comes to soaps, you can see Synthol, that red color soap. Even today people are buying it. It's a pretty old soaps. I think since 30 or 40 years it is there. There are other Synthol soaps also, but still people would like to buy that red color, you know, labeled soap, you know. Why? Because he has created some sort of differentiation, you know, and people are willing to pay a little bit extra for the same. It's the costliest soap actually with respect to other Synthol soaps. I think you can just check it out. And Mysore Sandal soap, same reason. It's pretty different, high quality, and it's costly. Of course, it's costly, and people are ready to, you know, pay that because they feel that the product is superior, you know. In case of services also, it's the same. Once upon a time, we used to have this Shell petrol bunk. We used to go there, and the you know, petrol or diesel used to be a bit premium, and still we're gonna pay and we're gonna buy it. Why? Because the service used to be pretty awesome. There used to be no waiting time, and he used to check your car coolant and other things, oil levels and all that. He used to provide fantastic service, the way he receives you and all that. For that reason, I myself personally, I used to go, but now I'm pretty rarely I'm finding Shell petrol bunks, but still. So all these things really matters, you know. Yes, when it comes to services, the way you provide service. When it comes to product, the way you provide your product, and the kind of experience that you create for your customer, you know, right? Now, this is the concept. So this is the concept of cost leadership as well as what? Product differentiation. Now that we know the concept, now let's apply this concept into this particular company, that is BA Limited. You got the point? We have our company. We do have a company that is BA Limited. So let's try to apply. Now see here, guys. Now applying the above concept to BA Limited. Now please understand, these words don't write in the examination. Don't write now applying the above concept to BA Limited. Please, you should have that sort of limited knowledge where you can at least understand what has been written by sir in Power Notes for the sake of explanation and what should be actually written in the examination. So these things you need to understand, that you need to skip, and remaining, of course, you can write it in the examination as well. Now, so let's start with cost leadership strategy for BA Limited. Let's say if we apply cost leadership strategy to BA Limited, is it going to work? And also what BA Limited really has to do in order to apply cost leadership strategy for its particular firm. Those things we're going to see right now. So ultimately what cost leadership does, it helps to gain market share, maintain or increase your current profitability levels. Ultimately market share gaining will be sure. Okay, that's the ultimate advantage of cost leadership strategy. Okay, now the biggest question is, okay, fine, the strategy is good. We're going to achieve the market share, in the sense we're going to increase our market share. and either we're going to maintain our current profitability levels, or maybe there is a chance for us to improve our profitability as well. So everything sounds good. It's good. Now the question is, how are we going to achieve this? Especially when it comes to BA Limited. Now you tell me, I'm BA Limited company and that's the case study right now. I want to reduce my cost and thereby I want to achieve this cost leadership strategy. Now my question is very simple. How am I going to do that? You please suggest me and we're going to give that suggestion. How to achieve cost reduction in BA for the above strategy. Let's do that. So this is how you're going to achieve your cost reduction. First one, go for variable pricing. Don't go for a constant pricing. Variable pricing means depending upon the situation, depending upon the time, depending upon the weekend or weekday, depending upon the festivals, depending upon the situations that's happening in the country, you accordingly change your prices. You get the best advantage out of it. Suppose if it's a festival, increase your prices. Anyway, people are going to buy because definitely they need a travel. If it is a weekend, increase your price because people are going to travel. If it is 10 days before the day that a person is trying to book his ticket, keep it very low because you are certain of your revenue. If he is nearing the booking date, which means tomorrow there is a flight and he wants to book now, then you can accordingly increase the prices. And that's what people does. You can see it in real life also. So variable pricing is something that really helps. You can see this in multiplexes also. You can see on Monday to Friday, the ticket prices in multiplexes in PVR and all that will be a little bit less, like 250 or 300. And if you see the weekends, it goes all the way to 500. So that's what we call variable pricing. Okay, depending upon the situation, timelines, festivals, weekends, you can accordingly change your prices and get the best out of it. And accordingly, you can work it out. That way you can reduce your cost. So if it is non-festivals, non-weekends, you can reduce your cost. You can achieve your cost leadership accordingly, and then you can work it out. Right? Next. Selling your seats, the airline seats, via internet rather than travel agents. That's a very basic point. Now everybody is doing the same. So if you eliminate the middleman, the travel agent, automatically his commission gets saved. Automatically to that extent you can reduce your price and thereby you can achieve your cost leadership, right? Trimming overhead cost by using low cost hangars in airport. HANGARS, hangars means it's a place where you can park your airline in the airport. Now I don't know how many of you guys have experienced, if you go to your airport, for example, there are certain airlines like for example Jet Airlines and something like that, premium airlines, where if you buy a ticket and if you go to an airport, directly from the airport, from the first floor or the second floor from the airport, they will connect it directly to the aeroplane. So you just need to walk and directly you'll get into the airline. I don't know how many of you guys have experienced this. Only the more premium your airline is, only then you will have that facility. You will get that premium hangars where it's easy for the customer to get in and get out. Whereas the cheaper airlines, the small airlines, the carrier airlines and all that, bus will come and then you have to get onto the bus and they will take you somewhere. So his hangar place, parking place will be somewhere. That's a low cost area. And from there you have to get onto the airline and then you have to travel eventually. So from this, what you guys need to understand is that you can better reduce your parking fee, hangar fee by going for low cost hangars. And that way you can reduce your ticket price, right? It works. Cost leadership strategy. That's the way it has to work. And no luxuries, like for example, no free meals, no drinks, nothing doing, just the ticket, and no additional baggage, no additional baggage services, no premium leg space. You can add so many points. Are you able to understand? So no luxuries whatsoever, just the basics. Basic baggage, basic luggage is allowed, seat is allowed, and we're going to reach you to your destination. See, you have to do that. We call it as no frills. Technically, we call it as no frills. No frills means no luxuries whatsoever. Only the basics will be given. That way, you can reduce your cost. Thereby, you can reduce your price. And thereby, you can achieve your cost leadership strategy. And that's the way it works. Got it? And fast turnaround for your aircraft. Have multiple shifts for your aircraft. The more the shifts the aircraft does, your capital works. If you're taking it on rent, your rent really works. And thereby, you can reduce your cost. And reduce your cost of handling exceptions. Exceptional cases means what? For example, passengers arriving late. Now, when passengers arrive late and then you have to really work upon them, you need to provide the service, then you have to handle them, then you need to work out all the things. Your staff has to give them, immediate, tickets, and you have to inform so many people over there. You need to stop the bus, you need to stop the flight and all that, because you need to work everything late and you need to work it fast so that the passenger doesn't disturb the flight. He doesn't delay the flight. So that will create a lot of cost. We call it as handling cost, and that you can reduce. You can clearly mention in your ticket saying that if you don't come 1 hour before the flight departure time, then you are not allowed. There ends the matter. No exceptions, nothing doing. That can also reduce your cost. Okay. Economies of scale through large scale operations. So you can have more number of flights, operate more, multiple times, fast turnarounds, and that will help you reduce your cost as well. So these are all the techniques through which you can reduce your cost, and thereby you can achieve the cost leadership strategy. Got the point? So the first one is variable pricing, selling seats via internet rather than your commission agents, travel agents, trimming your overhead cost by using low cost hangars in the airport, no free meals, no frills. A single word is no frills. You can just simplify it by saying no free meals, no drinks, no additional baggage, no premium leg space, etc. And of course, fast turnaround for aircrafts. You can reduce your cost, reduce cost of handling exceptional cases. That also I gave you example. Economies of scale through large scale operations. That will also reduce your cost. Got it? So that's how you achieve your cost leadership strategy. Now we're going to see how to achieve product differentiation strategy. Now have a look into that. Differentiation strategy for BA Limited. How to do that? See, this suits BA more. It actually suits BA Limited. Now you can ask me how. As you can see, BA Limited is a multinational passenger airline. So obviously it can adopt this particular differentiation strategy. For example of differentiation, as you can see here, let me change the ink color. Prime landing slots at major airports, which means prime hangars. Exactly the opposite I've told you just now. Now I'm telling you the opposite because we are going for differentiation strategy. So give that premium service to the passenger. Then only he'll feel that you're justified in collecting the extra premium fee, ticket fee. You understand the point? Superior and advanced tech. That sort of aeroplanes you can buy where the moment they get inside the airlines, they can feel the difference. They can feel the difference in everything. Better customer care service, better services, the kind of what do you call the food that you provide, the drinks that you provide, the complimentary things that you provide. Are you able to understand? In-flight entertainment, you can have the TVs on the backside of the seats and you can give them earphones and they can listen to some songs, watch some movies or something like that. High quality food and drink and all these things. So make them feel premium. Make them feel that this kind of service that your airlines is offering is different. And thereby you can go for full premium pricing and still you can maintain your market share because people feel that yours is the only premium service provided and they're ready to pay the premium price, and that works. Still you can maintain your market share. You understand the point? So that's the way you can apply your differentiation strategy. Because BA is a multinational passenger airline, so I personally feel that this particular differentiation strategy suits BA Limited more. Okay, right, moving on to the next one. Alternatively, BA can also apply the above two strategies, depending upon the geographical region where it's operating. For example, domestic airlines, especially in certain areas, you can go for cost leadership strategy. And for other groups where you're by a group, you can have the premium passengers. There you can go for differentiation strategy. In fact, you can apply a mix of this. You understand the point? So rather than applying single strategy for the industry as a whole, for BA Airlines industry, entire airline industry as a whole, rather than going for either product differentiation or cost leadership, you can have a mix of it depending upon the geographical region. That also works really well. You got the point? Now, there are few problems that you can see in this particular case study. One is currency depreciation is happening. So you can counter it by increasing your internal business of domestic flights. For that, you don't want dollar denomination, transactions, right? Transactions will not happen majorly in dollar denomination, which means the currency depreciation will not affect you much. So that way you can counter this particular problem that BA Limited is having. So try to increase your internal domestic flights and thereby you can curb the problem of currency depreciation to a greater extent. So that's one thing. Second, you want to reduce your airplane turbine fuel cost because that's a big thing for you, because in the country where BA is operating, it costs 35 to 40% more than the other countries because of heavy taxes. Then how to face this problem? Simple. Go for fuel saving modern Airbuses rather than using the old Airbuses, and thereby you can reduce the cost over there, and that way you can really work upon it and work through cost leadership. Chalo. Finally, BA can also apply value shop model to gain competitive advantage. That's what I've told you because it's a service sector. You got it? So now write the concept of value shop model 4 lines, which you already know. I've given you in the work, power notes. From there, you can just cut, copy, paste and write it over here. You need to remember that. That's what I told you even before the case study starts. I told you that you need to remember the concept. Only then it works. Even our power notes also works only that way. Okay? Chalo. As of now, when I was recording this particular video, case study 2, still I haven't written the power notes. And of course, once I've finished that off, even that I'll record and I'll try to, put it for you, right? Upload it in the lectures link and so that you guys can watch. Right, guys? So this is the case study 1. I hope we have simplified it. I hope I have simplified it a lot. This much, if you remember, it should be easy for you to recollect and easy for you to, present it in the examination hall and revise it the last day before the exam, which is really, 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 really important. You got the point? Okay, guys, chalo. That's it. We are done with it. You guys can copy. I'll give you 2 minutes per page. Once you're done with your copying, we'll wind up the session. Okay, chalo. Right, guys, start copying. Copy it, guys. Next. This one. Copy, Nana. Finish this off. Right, guys. Now copy this. Copy it, guys. Next, this one. Copy it, guys. Next. Finish this off. Right, guys. I hope you guys are done with your copying. Let's finish up the first case study here. We'll again join in next session with case study 2. And of course, that's based on building block model, my favorite one. So chalo guys, let's wind up. Thank you.